Welcome to our instructional video on how to correctly use your automatic taper. Firstly, we will go through the preparation of your automatic taper. In order to fill your taper, you will need to attach the gooseneck to the loading pump. To do this, simply hook the gooseneck into the flange and tighten the bolts. Tighten both bolts until they are firm. Once this is done, you are now ready to fill your automatic taper. I'm going to take you through the different and most important parts of the automatic taper. This level is exclusive to the Northstar brand and is used to apply tension to the drive wheel. This tension controls the speed at which the drive wheel can rotate. It is recommended to leave this tension level at the factory setting. This is the cutting mechanism that is used to cut the tape. It can be operated by moving the grey control tube up and down. This part controls the usability of the automatic taper. It has two options, neutral and engage. When positioned in neutral, the inner tube is open and can be filled with mud or washed out when cleaning. When positioned in engage, the taper is ready for use. This position enables the mud to flow out evenly. This lever controls the creasing wheel at the top of the automatic taper. Simply move the lever up and down to control the direction of the wheel. Lubricating is extremely important. Ensure you lubricate with a water dispersing lubricant such as WD-40 before every use and after every clean. You can never apply too much lubricant to your automatic taper. Place the paper tape on the reel holder and secure with retaining pin. When feeding tape into the head of the taper, ensure the inside crease is facing outwards. Use the grey control tube to push the tape through. Place the filler nozzle of the automatic taper onto the gooseneck. Assume the correct standing position with your foot at the base of the pump and your hand at the top of the taper, with your index finger placed inside the tube. Pump approximately 9.5 times to fill the taper or until you feel the plunger reach your finger at the top. The correct way to hold an automatic taper is with one hand in the middle, holding the grey control tube, to operate the cutting mechanism. The other hand should be at the bottom, used to both support the taper and to control the creasing wheel lever. The hold of the taper is the same for all applications. Place the taper at the starting point on your wall. You may use the creasing wheel if you want, but you don't have to. Pull along the wall and when you are approximately 4 to 6 inches out, cut the tape and use the creasing wheel to guide the remainder of the tape onto the wall. When directing the automatic taper around a corner, simply keep it in tight to the wall and use the creasing wheel to guide the tape around the corner. To cut the tape, pull the grey control tube in one swift movement. As with wall joints, place the taper at your starting point, pull along the ceiling and cut tape approximately 4 to 6 inches out from the end. It is important to note that the taper is placed on an angle when taping ceilings. This ensures the mud is spread evenly. When taping internals, start at the bottom and pull to the top. About 4 to 6 inches from the top, cut the tape by pulling the grey control tube in one swift movement. Control of the creasing wheel is paramount to getting a good result when taping internals. When using a corner roller, start in the middle, move upwards to the top and down to the bottom. Apply an even amount of pressure whilst doing this. If you push too hard, the mud will disperse. With glazing, you can either start at the bottom or in the middle. Move the glazer up and down the joint, gradually applying more and more pressure until you reach the desired finish. To clean your automatic taper, you first have to manually empty all the leftover mud out of the tube. Once empty, hose down the head of the taper until all the mud is cleaned off the surface. Then place the hose down the back of the drive wheel to clean out the entry to the inner tube. Ensure the taper is in engage position, so the water should spray straight out of the tube. Hold the hose here until the water is running clear. Now move to neutral position and place the hose in the filler nozzle. This will now fill the inner tube with water, washing out any mud left in there. When full, engage the taper and manually empty out the water from the inner tube. This will eliminate any leftover waste. Wash down the back of the drive wheel once more, give the outside a quick hose down and your auto taper is now clean.